FoodSaver. Is it worth it? I just bought it. So yeah, I would have to say it's worth it. But stay till the end so you can actually hear the noise this machine makes. And it's my understanding they all make that same noise. I wasn't expecting to hear that. You know, it's one of these that when you watch the video on YouTube and you watch their commercial, they don't really show you how loud and noisy this is. But that said, it's actually turned out to be a decent little machine. And I'm doing this because I had a hard time figuring out how to use it. And I read the instructions and I watched the video, and it's still these little details they leave out. So they kind of leave it to you to figure out, which I think is just so that you'll waste material and you'll have to go buy some more. I do. I think that's what it is, because that's eventually what happened. Is I ended up wasting a lot of material. But so you don't do that. Let me show you how it works, and we'll start by the features. So there you go. What have you got? Let's focus here. Let's start with the most important part, I think, is how this machine really operates. You've got your vacuum, which is self-explanatory. That's what's going to vacuum all the air out of that bag. And it also does seal automatically. Now, why is there a vacuum and a seal button? Because when you are starting your process, you're going to be cutting the bag and then sealing it. And it does it all in here. You just have to pull the bag out. And the bag itself, it is it's just a big long roll that seals at the end, and then you can start making the size you need. And that's for that. Mode, you have dry, moist, pulse, sous vide. We're going to be using dry. I found that to be the one that's the most powerful because we have a pretty sad steak here. I'm going to seal this one up, and I'm going to seal it just to leave it in the refrigerator because I'm going to use it for stew. I'm not going to use it for steak. It just, Ziploc has these bags. I used to just use Ziplocs. I take them out of the package and use Ziplocs. But somehow or another, recently, Ziploc has been changed their formula, or something has happened where now it doesn't protect the meat like it used to, and everything's burning. So that's what prompted me to go buy the FoodSaver. All right, so let's go to the other side. Vacuum and marinade. These are modes that you can use with the handheld, and this is the handheld. There's a little air tube here, and you look at it, it just sucks air out, and it's designed to be used with those little plastic tubs that have the seal on top, or plastic bags if you want to do a marinade and you don't want to vacuum the marinade out. This is what you use. And that, if once you know how to use this other part of it, this part here is pretty easy. So let's go to the side. And you've got open, store, and operate. I find it interesting that store is in the center, and I think it's just because it's going to protect the seal, that little foam seal in there. For our purposes, we're just going to be using operate quite a bit here. So you're going to go all the way down. I wish they had done it where it was open, operate, and then store, but who cares? At the end of the day, it's not a big deal. I'm not going to lose sleep over it. Here is the bag. Now this is a roll. More than anything, it's a roll. And you pull it out as far as you're going to need it to be, meaning, what size do you want? So for us, I'm going to do a little measurement here. See that right there? You want to give yourself a couple of inches, because when you are going to seal this up, you're going to have to account for the thickness of this, because it's going to want to taper, and you're going to have to, now it becomes longer around here because now you have to go around a corner. So just keep in mind that you're going to want it a little bit longer than, because you're going to make the mistake I made. You're going to try to get as close as you can. It doesn't work. You see this first ridge here? Let me put this stick to the side. This first ridge here is the cutting ridge. So just kind of eyeball where you want that to be. The second thing you want to watch is this is the thermal seal. That's what heats up. Now this green thing, I have no idea what the heck it is. I just, you can take it out. I don't know what it is. It might be, you know what I think it might be? If you are sealing something moist and moisture gets in, that's where it's going to trap it, and then you can empty it out. I suspect that's where it's at. And if it's in the instructions, I'm sorry, I didn't see them. So here we are. So now we've got a rough estimate of the length of it. And what we want to do is close the lid, go all the way to operate. See how the lights come on when you do that? Right? It's ready. And then you're just going to slide this over. That's pretty cool. Unlock it. Now you got the bag, and you're going to actually have to roll this thing in because you don't want this flapping into the thermal side of things. You just don't want that. It'll give you a headache. I think that's an inconvenience, but once you get used to it, I imagine it's not a big deal. So since we're here, we're going to keep the perforated side down. I say it's perforated. I don't know if it is, but it is textured. And now we're going to close the lid because what we're going to do next is we're going to seal it. Remember, you only use the cutter before you seal, not after. I made that mistake twice. Because how convenient is that, right? They should have made the cutter above the thermal seal, but they make it below the thermal seal, if you understand what I'm saying. And when you do this, you're just exposing, you're cutting the bag again below the thermal seal. So you only use it once, and that's when you're going to measure the bag. So now we're going to go to the seal. We're going to press seal. Now, watch what it does. It's going to light up. It's going to blink. This is real time, so I'm not going to speed it up. You need to know what this is like in real time. And it's not too bad. Done. All right? Unlock it. Open it up. Ooh, look at this. You got your seal. That's awesome. And, you can't do the magic trick. You can't put your hand through it. There it is. I'm going to put the camera down, and I'm going to start over, because now I need both hands to put this piece of meat in here. So let's see what we can do here. I'm going to reverse. And, I don't have a crew here, you guys. I'm just a one-man shop, unfortunately, trying to, as they say, a squirrel trying to get a nut. Actually, I'm not even trying to get any kind of subscribers. I'm just kind of talking. I'm enjoying it. So, we've got this bag. It is a special bag. It's specifically for this. I don't know if you can use other bags. It says you can. I haven't tried. You grab your meat, slip it in there. Now, look at this. Look how much I'm wasting. Yeah, that is a huge waste. But I still have to figure that out. Yeah. If you can see, what I'm doing here now is I'm going to get ready to vacuum seal it. This is where the secret takes place. This is where the magic takes place. But we've had some problems. I've probably vacuum sealed 20 pieces of meat in the last couple hours, and I've had some failures where it will start the process, vacuum everything else, but it won't seal. And now what? So let's see if it does it. And also, I'm going to leave it real time again, and I'm going to let you hear the noise, because the noise is what I was not expecting. And also time. So we're all doing this in real time. I'm going to close it all the way down. Ready? Then you're going to hit vacuum, but actually make sure that you choose which mode you want it. If it's moist, use moist, because it's not going to have a strong vacuum. And you don't want to use dry with fresh meat, because it will suck the blood out of it and it'll start going into the machine. And that's why I think that little green tray is there. So let's hit vacuum. Oh my gosh, can you hear that noise? Do you hear that? That's just loud. But watch what it's doing. Watch what it's doing. Look at that. Isn't that great? It is now sucking all the air out. And you can see there's a little bit of moisture being sucked out, even though it's frozen. It's almost like a really bad hickey, but it's working. Now we're going to see what it does here. We're going to hope that it does its deal. And around, the blinking lights have gone off, and we've got a problem. seal. Did the seal light go off? I don't know. I don't know. This is a mystery. This might be what happened earlier. Let me unlock it. Let me see what it does. Oh yeah, it did work, you guys. It worked. It sealed it. So let me turn it back around and we'll get this done. That's my kitchen. You see my kitchen? You think I have enough knives? That's a commercial stove. Got a nice commercial refrigerator. I love cooking. I'm not really that good at it, which is kind of the irony of this whole thing. And around. Okay, look at that. It looks awesome. It did a really good job, and it actually, you know, it almost makes the meat more presentable. Don't you think? It makes the meat look like it came from a butcher shop. The noise is what gets me. I just don't like the noise. So just keep that in mind. If I'm going to give it a rating between 1 and 10, let's say 7. 7's good. 7's not bad. You know, it could be worse. But cost-wise, I'm not going to know if I'm saving money till later on. I'm going to see how long I can keep these things. It says that it's good for 5 times the normal storage time. So that's quite a statement. I mean, some stuff you can store up to a year, especially if you've got a good freezer like I do. Does that mean I can store this thing for 5 years? I don't know if I want to eat it after 5 years. I'm going to use this particular one. I'm going to let it thaw out in the refrigerator, and I'm going to use it for beef stew. But this, let's go back to our friend here. I give it a thumbs up. I give it a 7 out of 10. And I can't think of anything else that we would be wanting. I can't imagine anything you'd want to know more. Just remember, it's not as convenient as you think. It does take a little bit of work. You need a workstation. If I had had a chance, if I had had some foresight, I would have showed you guys the counter. It was full of meat, and there was a bunch of bags everywhere when I was working. So, anyway, it is what it is, and thank you for watching. Remember, again, if you like it, give me a thumbs up.